'Cause until the philosophy which old one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned. Well, everywhere is war. It's a war. And until there's no longer first class nor second class citizens of any nation, until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance to the color of his eyes, I've got to say war. And until the basic human rights are equally guaranteed to all without regard to race, it's a war. 'Cause until that day, the dream of lasting peace, world citizenship, and the rule of international morality, yeah, will remain in but a fleeting illusion to be pursued, but never attained. Well, everywhere is war. It's a war. War in the east, war in the west, war up north, war down south. Yes, this is a war, a war. Oh, rumors of war. Yes, this is a war, a war. Oh, rumors of war. And until the ignoble and unhappy regime that hold our brothers in South Africa, anywhere on the part of the earth, in subhuman bondage, has been toppled, utterly destroyed. Well, everywhere is everywhere is war. War. Everywhere is war. War. Everywhere is war. 'Cause until the day the African continent will not know peace, we Africans will fight, we find it necessary. We know we shall win. We are confident in the victory, yeah, of good over evil, of good over evil, of good over evil. Well, everywhere is war. 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 Some crying, some dying, some winning, some losing, singing without. No more trouble. We don't need. Oh no, 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 no. No more trouble. Tell you what we need is love to guide and protect us on. If you're up, look down from above. Help the weak if you are strong. We don't need no trouble. Oh no, 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 no. I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is a calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fold. No one is gonna lose their soul. Now all my days I've been searching to find out what this life is worth. Through the books I've looked, oh yeah, through time I've searched, yes. It's love, love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. All we need is love. Say it again. All we need is love. Well, I don't want to fight you. Hey, let's go fly a kite now. There's nothing we can't cure. And I keep you in my arms for sure. So don't let nobody stop us. Free spirits have to soar. You know, with you I share this gift. And this gift that we now know. Oh, love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. All we need is love. All we need is love. Yeah. Well, I'm done searching now. Found out what this life is worth. Not in a book is it found. Oh, my friends, it's all around. Yeah. I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is a calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fore. No one is gonna lose their soul when it's love. Love is my religion. Mama said, love is my religion. Children said, love is my religion. And every people say, love is my religion. Well, I said it again. Love is my religion. All we need is love. All we need is love. All we need is love. All we need is love.
Yo, 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 what is up? What is going on? It's your boy Maki Dan, the historian, coming to you with another stream for the Democracy Briefing. Shout out to everybody that's already in the chat. My girl VKB, she showed up bright and early. I see my guy Juan Frilio. My brother ASC is gonna be coming through very soon, I'm sure. But I got my brother BVO Boxing, my OG, my big bro. I got him up here on the panel. How you doing, BVO? I don't know if BVO can hear me.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you now.
All right. Blessings, man. Bless up, man. Good to be on here with you, man.
Yeah, man, yeah, man. I always enjoyed the. Oh, you got a background. You got some echo, BVO.
Uh,
Am I go on mute when you're not talking, BVO? Cause that's some bad echo. But I would say it's always good to talk to you, my brother. Always good to see another day. Now we are in some serious times. We are in some very, very serious times. The thumbnail for the stream by itself speaks for itself. Some of the topics we're going to get into. Obviously, we're going to get into the war going on in Iran. BBO using my account to ask questions, but never mind. But we're going to get into the Iran war. We're going to get into the hold that the Zionists and the Israeli lobby has over our current political system. Yeah, we're gonna have some very serious discussions, but let's first off start off by saying rest in peace and condolences to anybody who has lost their life in this 13-day war. I want to say condolences to anybody whose family members got caught up in this conflict taking place in the Middle East. And I want to say prayers for anybody who might currently be stuck, might be trying to travel, refugees who might be trying to get out of very bad situations, or people who have family members that are stuck over there and they can't get out because of the air traffic over these countries has been closed. So I want to firstly start by saying that um, this war was launched on February 28th. Since then, 1,348 civilians have been killed in Iran, including on the first day of the U.S. Israeli attacks. A school was struck by a Tomahawk missile, killing over 160 children. 14 teachers were also killed. 3,000 combatants in Iran have been killed thus far. On top of that, the top 40 commanders in their military were killed on day one, as well as the supreme leader, Ayatollah Khomeini. Since Khomeini has been killed, they've now replaced him with his son. So his son, I believe his name is Mojabat Khomeini, is now the Ayatollah. He is now the supreme leader of Iran. So we got rid of Khomeini and we replaced Khomeini with Khomeini. It shouldn't be funny, but you got to laugh to keep from crying in these types of situations. But man, just unbelievable we in this situation. But on top of the civilians that have been killed, 3,000 Iranian combatants have died in the for the US. We have 7 confirmed US service members have been killed. 140 service members have been wounded. In Israel, 16 civilians have died. 4 combatants have also been killed. However, they've been killed in the Lebanon Hezbollah theater of the war. The Gulf states, being comprised of the UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi, Oman, 13 civilians have been killed. 13 combatants are also dead. In Lebanon, where it probably, I don't want to say the worst humanitarian situation is taking place, but it's really bad up there. In Lebanon, over 200 Hezbollah operatives have been killed, 1,000 civilians have died, and over 800,000 people have been displaced since Israel started striking southern Lebanon in an attempt to once again destroy Hezbollah. So one of the conversations the conversation BBO wanted to have is how much control does Israel really have over us? And the answer to that question is they have complete control. They have complete and total control. Israel has been trying to force us to attack Iran for over 30 years. Okay? Bibi Netanyahu, who, let me put his picture up here. This is the prime minister of Israel, the devil disguised as a human being. Just like when you talk about Stalin, the Big H, Mao Zedong, some of the some of the most prolific butchers in the history of the world. Bibi Netanyahu's name is going to be right next to theirs in that book. He is a disgusting, authoritarian, corrupt, fascist murderer. There are over 100,000, or excuse me, 70,000 to 100,000 civilian dead in Gaza because of this man. But outside of that, Bibi Netanyahu has been trying to force Iran, or excuse me, the U.S. to attack Iran for over 30 years. And his same calling card is Iran is a couple of weeks or a couple of months away from a nuclear weapon. We have to strike now. Well, what happens if it's too late? That's his whole thing. He's been doing it for over 40 years. Let me see if I can pull up the clip.
Donald, why haven't you attacked Iran yet? If you don't attack soon, I will release the Epstein files.
My apologies. That's the wrong clip. But nonetheless, it is an accurate clip I just showed. But this is Bibi Netanyahu for 30 years.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade.
Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
So like this is like it's kind of like a comedy shtick. Like every couple of years he comes out and says Iran is a couple of weeks away from a nuclear bomb. Bush, Clinton, Joe Biden, Obama told him to fuck off. Told him to go. Told him where he could go. And yeah, we were cool. Iran did not develop a nuclear bomb, but that's his thing. And Bibi Netanyahu, if you look into I can't remember the name of what it was called, but essentially there was a Defense Department mandate, which essentially said 7 wars in 7 different countries. And the 7 different countries were Somalia, Libya, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Yemen, and I believe Lebanon. So, and keep in mind, these are the 7 countries that fiercely oppose the Israeli occupation of Palestine. So, in Israel's mind, we're going to destabilize these 7 largely Sunni Muslim, and some Shiite Muslim countries. We're going to destabilize them, and that's going to allow for us to dominate in the Middle East for decades and possibly centuries to come, as we continue to advance technologically, as we continue to gain a chokehold over the technological economies of the entire world with our companies HP, as well as Intel, which builds microchips. So we've already bombed or invaded or regime changed at least, I want to say, 5 of those countries. No. Actually, it is 6. We've regime changed 6 of them, from Somalia all the way to Lebanon. Iran was the 7th and last country. Okay, this is out of Bibi Netanyahu's like wet dreams. This is his bucket list. Now, going back to for a second, I talked about Bush and Clinton and Obama and Biden. Bibi Netanyahu has been trying to push them to attack Iran for 30 years. And each and every time, they told him where he could go. But the first and most compliant idiot to finally go through with it was President Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump pulled us out of the Iranian JCPOA nuclear agreement that Obama established. Now, what is the JCPOA? The JCPOA was an agreement that Barack Obama set up where he said we will remove all sanctions on Iran's government, and allow them to tap into their assets around the world. And we're going to refund them the $1.7 billion that they sent us for weapons back in the 70s that we never delivered on. And in exchange, Iran is going to only produce 3% enriched uranium. That's all the uranium a country needs to fuel its energy sector and to fuel its health sector. And the rest 97%, it gets shipped to France or some other NATO country to then be sold, and then they send the proceeds to Iran. It was a great deal. We had Russia on the table, who bought into it. We had China, and we also, I believe, had India that was involved in the deal, and then a smattering of other European nuclear powers. But the one part, so this deal essentially guaranteed that Iran would not have a nuclear weapon. But the one person who hated, or I shouldn't say the one person, you also had multiple countries in the Middle East that didn't like the deal. But Bibi Netanyahu hated it from the start. He hated it because what it essentially did was it took away a pretext for Israel to attack Iran, and it took away the pretext to involve an international global coalition to continue to help them fight Iran should they go ahead with striking them. So Bibi Netanyahu and the Saudis, because the Saudis also didn't like the deal, they hated the deal because it took away the sanctions that were on Iran, and it allowed Iran to become flush with foreign currency and different assets, which allowed it to support its economy, and then essentially open other doors around the world. Now they'll use the excuse of, well, they're taking that money and sending it to their proxies like Hamas, who are terrorists. But that's just absolute BS. That money went to stabilizing the Iranian economy. And that's not what Bibi Netanyahu wants. He wants Iran to become destabilized. So Bibi Netanyahu says, all right, Obama's nuts are too big. I can't deal with this guy. So he bides his time, and God delivers into his lap the perfect idiot. And that perfect idiot's name is Donald Trump. So Donald Trump and by the way, in 2017, Donald Trump's administration certified that Iran was following the nuclear agreement and that they were adhering to inspections from the UN's watchdog group, the IAEA. So Donald Trump's own administration agreed that the deal was working and preventing them from building a nuclear weapon. But Bibi Netanyahu gets in Donald Trump's ear, and Donald Trump says, well, you know what? I tried to get rid of Obamacare. They didn't let me do it. So let me get rid of Obama's terrible nuclear agreement. And he used the excuse that, oh, they've got secret underground facilities, which, by the way, that's the exact thing that Bibi Netanyahu said about Iraq and Saddam Hussein. Bibi Netanyahu lied in front of our Congress in 2002 when he said that Saddam Hussein is not submitting to inspections and that there's secret weapons of mass destruction laboratories underground. It turned out to be a lie. We invaded Iraq for nothing. It triggered a failed state and a civil war for over a decade, and it triggered the rise of ISIS. So Bibi Netanyahu goes to Trump and says they have underground facilities, tear it up. And Donald Trump, like the punk he is, tore it up. Then, I want to say the agreement got tore up in 2018. 5 years later, October 7th happens in 2023, which was a terrorist attack, a day that was terrible. I make no apologies for it. What Hamas did was wrong. They went in, they killed upwards of 600 Israeli civilians, and they killed 300 Israeli soldiers and police officers. Israel had every right to respond to that attack and had every right to defend themselves in Palestine. But as a result of that attack, which, by the way, we can go into all the conspiracy theories that the IDF basically was on stand down. during Hamas's attack. But as a result of that attack, Bibi Netanyahu uses the Hamas October 7th attack as basically like an excuse to say, well, Hamas is an Iranian proxy, so therefore we're at war with Iran. We're gonna bomb Hezbollah in Lebanon, and we're gonna bomb the Houthis in Yemen. We're gonna bomb all these countries that are affiliated with Iran. And if you're not on board with us bombing and killing as many people from these other countries as we can, then you're anti-Semitic. How dare you question Israel's right to defend itself? And that's been the whole shtick. And now that Joe Biden, and by the way, during that 2023 and 2024, while Israel is fighting Hamas, the entire time, they were trying to get Joe Biden and the Biden administration to essentially greenlight and back them flying into Iran and striking them. And he basically asked Biden, if we go into Iran and we strike them, will you have our back? And Biden, say whatever you will about Biden. Some people say Biden was a dementia patient. I said that. Some people say that Biden was weak. Some people say Biden acquiesced to Netanyahu and the Israelis too much. Biden nutted up for once and said, Mr. Prime Minister, no, we will not back you if you go to war with Iran. So now we move on to Trump term number 2. Donald Trump, now that the JCPOA agreement was torn up and ripped up, Bibi Netanyahu has his pretext for going to war with Iran back on the table, going to direct war with Iran. He has it back on the table. Now he has a compliant idiot who is holding who is in the Oval Office of the United States of America. And he goes to Trump and he says, well, I'm going to start, or excuse me, let me fast forward to this year, 2026. On February 28th, he goes to Donald Trump and he tells Donald Trump, and this is just what I think happened. He goes to Donald Trump and he tells him, listen, we're going to strike Iran, and if you don't strike Iran, you're probably going to get struck anyway. So you might as well just ride with us. And he played that fucking idiot for the idiot that he was. And what's even worse is, Bibi Netanyahu tried to get Bill Clinton to go to war with Iran back in 1999, or excuse me, back in 1998. And we actually have reports that Bibi Netanyahu was bugging the White House, and he had tapped phone conversations between Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky on top of other women. And he was threatening Netanyahu that they were going to go forward, that he was going to release these pictures to the public if, number one, they did not release an Israeli spy named Jonathan Pollard. You could go look Pollard. You can go look him up. He got life in prison for leaking U.S. state secrets as well as exposing the covers of thousands of CIA and NSA operatives that were in the field. So he put American lives in danger. Bibi Netanyahu said, if you don't release Pollard and you don't strike Iran, Bill, you're going to be in big trouble. And the only thing that stopped us from going to war with Iran in 1998 was the CIA. The CIA stepped up and they said, Mr. President, absolutely effing not. You see, MAGA and others like to have these conversations about the deep state. What the deep state really is just the government functioning as it is. You're going to have a CIA part of the deep state and people that have been running it for decades and have political connections. You're going to have a central bank part of the deep state. That I believe that there were parts of the deep state that were meant to prevent us from going to war with foreign countries or prevent silly, stupid presidents like Bill Clinton or like a Reagan from getting goaded into going to war on behalf of foreign countries like Israel because they got blackmailed. And what has happened now is Donald Trump, and salute to my guy, Boxing Scholar, Donald Trump has removed the entire fuck. My bad. This printer is not printed all day, and now as I'm in the middle of talking, it wants to print. But anyway, I believe that those quote unquote deep state, you could call them sections or you could call them factions or whatever you want to call them, they're specifically in place to prevent shit like this from happening. Donald Trump basically fired everybody in every department, everybody who was in a leadership position, and replaced them with with loyalists, with dummies like Pete Hegseth and Kristi Noem and Tulsi Gabbard, who no matter what he says, they will bend. Whereas back in 1998, you had real patriots and real statesmen within these government agencies who were, as I just said, who were patriots, who had the nuts to stand up and say, "Mr. President, absolutely effing not." But now we're stuck with a human man child, with an orange man child, an orange narcissistic man child who can easily be goaded into any decision. This fucking guy, Stephen Miller, told him to go on TV, to go on stage and talk about, well, if we don't get Greenland, we might have to go to war. I mean, only an idiot would say, only somebody with the context of how important NATO is, only an idiot would say that. But he is so easy to push and to lead into any direction he wants, any direction whoever is manipulating him wants. Steve Witkoff, the guy who we currently have negotiating quote unquote peace deals in the Middle East. I'm not seeing the peace deals, but they say he's negotiating them. Steve Witkoff was caught on a phone conversation with a Russian ambassador, and the Russian ambassador was asking him, "How do I goad Donald Trump?" And Steve Witkoff was advising this gentleman. Do you understand me? You got Jared Kushner. One second. My bad, I'm back. You got Jared Kushner, who is not essentially, he's owned by the Saudis. Jared, earlier this year, that big EA deal that EA got sold for, I think, around like 50 or 60 billion dollars. Jared Kushner's firms were involved in that. And he took home a hefty bit of the profits. Do you understand me? These are the corrupt, spineless fools and cowards that are running our country right now. And it's very easy for somebody and it's very easy for the devil to manipulate and take control of somebody who's not principled. And that's how we are in this current situation where Bibi Netanyahu has our government the way that he wants it. Just outside of Bibi Netanyahu himself, I want to show. Hold on. Let me show you this first. So, for those of you who don't know what AIPAC is the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee, and here's my brother Boxer Scholar. Let me let my brother up. Boxer Scholar, how you doing?
What's good, Marky Dan? I just wanted to say I changed. I've changed. Since the last time you talked to me, I've been approached by several guys with men in black
Whoa,
shades and
whoa.
briefcases, and
Oh, okay, okay.
I've changed. I've changed. I support this
Nah,
war
the
100%.
way how you said, I got approached by a bunch of guys. I
Whoa,
didn't
whoa,
like how that
brother,
sounded.
brother, you got to get your mind out together. We only making money over here. We're not selling. We're not selling cheeks, brother. We're not selling cheeks.
All
You
right, all
know.
right, all right. Go ahead.
You know.
You were
But
approached
I've
by
changed, Marky.
some
There, I've
gentlemen.
changed.
What'd you
I've
say?
changed. I've changed. Yeah. They unfortunately gave me a price I couldn't refuse, and I support this war. I support this war.
Well, speaking as you have a car, right?
Yeah.
Well, speaking as a nigga with a car, do you support this? Do you support gas prices going up by 40 cents? in just a week, it's gone up by 60 cents since the conflict started. You support that? The dumb niggas in black suits and masks and briefcases make you support this shit now?
Yo, Marky Dan, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you. You support
Yeah, I
this? You
support
support
it.
these gas? Wow. 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 You support this? You support this? You support the oil going up by over $100 a barrel? Damn, man. I didn't. Damn, my brother. Oh, here he is. I thought I thought they might have got my brother Box's collar. 1 second.
Perfect is that.
All right, there you go. You support this Box's collar?
Yes, yes. It was that moment was almost as perfect as Donald Trump getting shot in the ear and then saying fight, fight. It was beautiful, bro. When I went to the pump, bro, and I paid $60 to fill up my tank, I knew I had did my due diligence as a full-blooded, pure-hearted American pie, gun-toting American. And I've changed. I've changed. I've changed. I'm rich now. I'm rich. You asked me, did I have cars? I have cars. Sir. You got to add the S. You're not singular, plural, brother. Plural. I'm rich. I'm balling. I'm balling. I hope y'all are too.
So you
Hope
saying you've
y'all are
gotten
too.
rich since February 28th, since the war started? You've been
Yes, yes, yes,
pouring
yes.
in the dough?
Yeah. I named my price, and the administration met my price, and I will be silenced for the rest of my life. Go Israel. I even purchased a bunch of small hats myself. A bunch of Israel flags. Yeah, I'm balling. I'm balling. You know what I mean? To
So
all
does
y'all broke
that mean
motherfuckers out there, to all y'all broke motherfuckers out there who don't understand what I'm talking about, hey,
so
God be
does
with
that
you.
mean you support terrorism, Boxer Scholar? You support this
When you
map
word it like
shrinking
that,
and getting
Marky
smaller
Dan,
and smaller?
when you word it like that, you try to, I see what you do. I see what you do. I know you're a
No,
little
I'm just
liberal.
saying. You see
I
how
know,
green this map is, and then
yo,
just like decade
yo,
after
Marky
just
Dan,
get smaller and
hold on, Marky
smaller.
Dan. Let,
Like
let,
you
let me,
support
let
that?
me, let me tell him my inner surf out player. Okay. You know what? You liberals always try to do this. What about Joe Biden? Huh? Huh? You can't answer that, can you? Name one thing that Joe Biden has ever done to make your life better.
I mean, he passed the infrastructure bill. That got a brewery built down here. It fixed a lot of the roads down in the Virgin Islands.
Mm.
Um, he passed the extension for Obamacare subsidies. Which kept premium prices pretty low. I
Okay,
started on
whoop-de-doo.
MAP.
Whoop-de-doo. Healthcare. See, name three things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a perfect surf
That's
out player right there.
that's my surf out player, bro. There's nothing you can name. You could have named three more, and he still would have. Well, what about nine? Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. I'm rich, bro. I'm rich. I'm balling. Those Trump checks that we told y'all that we were gonna get before voting for Donald Trump. I've gotten three of them. I don't know about anybody else.
Bro, bro. Oh my god. I wish I had the time to record the Doge depositions. I sent it to you on
I seen them.
Instagram. Did you
I
see
seen
it?
them. I seen them. Yeah, I seen a couple of them. Those young
Oh
kids not even knowing what
my
DEI was.
god.
That's a whole episode, bro. We got to go through that.
No, but like forget the DEI. Like there was the one kid. Or no, I mean like the DEI is the central point of it, but the one kid who they put him in charge of auditing the military's programs for DEI programs and entitlements, and he saw one, and it said it talked about how black women, which I mean to just be common sense, black women at one point in time were what's the word I'm looking for? Were they weren't they were essentially they were discriminated against. They were discriminated against in the military, and that there was a program that allowed for them to better report sexual violence and abuse complaints. There was a program that allowed for better access to abortions and other what you call that, a mammogram, those types of health procedures. And he said, DI, cut it, get it the F out of here. And like he didn't go into any of the research, like The fact that black women have a 3%, or excuse me, are 3 times more likely to die giving
Mark it
birth than
down.
white women, like that's one of the reasons it was created. He just saw black women discrimination.
Yeah,
Get it
yeah.
out of here.
Highlight trigger words for white supremacy that they don't like to talk about. But you know what's crazy though, Marky Dan? You know what's insane about it is that I gave up on this country a long time ago. I'm gonna just be honest with you.
Don't say
You
that.
know,
Don't say that.
I don't. You can take it for whatever you want to. Just look at our president. And you could lean left, you can lean right, whatever the case may be. But even George Bush had enough decorum to where his oops moments was limited. Remember, it's a saying in Tennessee. I know we got it in Texas. Fool me what once, shame on me. Fool me can't get fooled again. You remember that? That was his like oops moment. He
That
had
was iconic. I like how you said that. I didn't know that was a gaff.
yeah. It was a gaff, bro. Um, and yeah, he has moments like that, but Trump's entire presidency is like that. Everything he says, like if you look at the literacy rate, bro, of people that can read, you look at America being on like what a fifth grade reading level, and you look at our president, you understand why people like he invokes emotions and the feelings in these people that feel like they have been disenfranchised, but the disenfranchisement is just them reading. You should never feel oppressed by a book, and we have an entire society, bro, who don't know how to read, don't know how to comprehend what they're reading, don't understand facts. Like that's why I've given up having debate, bro. The frustration that I'm having now is what you have just being introduced to the people on my panel and trying to have an honest dialogue or intellectual discourse, because it's one-sided. It ends up being a teaching session where the students refuse to learn. So, like I said, he still has support, bro. He still has support. Like you remember when he invaded Venezuela and we did that episode and everybody was telling us how it was going to benefit our life and how good it was for us. Then you fast forward, and then you see like, well,
Bro,
hey, not only
I just did a short on that. I just came out with a short on that. They're begging for Uncle Joe to come back. The dude, I can't remember the town in Florida, but he said they asked him, "Do you regret your vote?" He said, "Well, I miss my Uncle Joe. Back then I was balling. I can't even find $5 and some lint in my pocket." They begging for Joe Biden to come back now.
yeah, I mean, like me and Marky Dan, we made this prediction, and it's gonna age. Matter of fact, when you want some moments that you want to clip, you gotta say clip that, and StreamYard to clip it for you automatically. So clip that. What's gonna happen is the next election cycle, whoever's the Democratic nominee is gonna win by a landslide. It's not even gonna be close. You're gonna get people that don't normally vote that's gonna show up and vote. You're gonna get people who are publicly supporting Trump who's gonna vote Democratic because they know it's a disaster. And if Trump doesn't get impeached, that's if he makes it and doesn't get impeached.
I,
But
I think I think that right now, because I agree, like the cult is still pretty strong. Like if you look at the polls, 80 to 90% of Republicans support the war. They support this. So the cult members are always going to be on board. I think the only thing that's going to break them from the slumber is going to be a financial crash, which we're very close to, Box Guy. We're very, very close
So that's the point
to.
I was getting to. George W. Bush had us on the verge of a recession. There
No,
was a
we
lot
were
of
in a recession.
I mean, it's debatable.
No, we were
But
in a recession. They
it's
called it
debatable,
the
bro.
Great Recession.
Yeah, they called it the Great Recession, but compared to what? The Great Depression was real hard economic
Well,
times.
we had three back to back to back quarters of regression in GDP. So that's definitionally a recession.
Yeah, but it's like the definitions back then were more literal and it was more widespread. The Great Depression, it was mass spread of hard economic times. You get what I'm saying? Now, if they do like the Great Recession, you'll see some slow growth or some growth that's going the opposite direction in some places, but you'll also see flourishing. That's all I'm saying. I'm
No,
saying
but
it like
Box Scholar, what I wanted to say about this is that we're very close to a financial crash. Like just
But they've been
outside of the
Marky Dan, they've
gas.
been saying that for they said that the tariffs were gonna crash the economy and it didn't.
No, but like the war has crashed the fucking economy. Diesel has gone up by $1 in
It
a
has.
week.
It has, but you that's because look, Safra has texted me, told me to tell you the victory gas is on the way. That he's on the phone with the new leader of Venezuela. But no, what I
No,
was
but
gonna
Master
say,
Guy,
Marky.
you like you acknowledge how crazy it is for diesel to go up by $1 in a
Yeah, it
week.
went up more than that. It went up more than that in fucking Texas, bro. I'm in Texas, and it went up way more than that.
No, my nigga. So like in
It
about
like
a
doubled.
month
It
or a
like,
couple of weeks, that shit's gonna start hitting the grocery stores because
bro.
everything comes on Freightliners.
And you know what? And you know what? It's like I said, the dude who champions that wants the Nobel Peace Prize that said no new wars is constantly starting wars and still wants the Nobel Peace Prize
Which
and
by the
crashing
way,
the economy.
which by the way, I'm glad you brought that. After I address that point, I want to address the Obama of it all. Then I'll go on to the economic side of how close we are to really being fucked, to like going through some dark ages. But I often hear this from a lot of coons. My brother BVO, who I love to death, is one of them, who likes to talk about Barack Obama's drone program, and Barack Obama was a warmonger, and Trump definitely deserves a Nobel Peace Prize over Barack Obama. Trump is the peacetime president, blah, 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 coon, rah, 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 rabba, dabba, dabba. So I got some statistics right here, Boxer Scott.
I'm listening.
Barack Obama, term one, and term two, 416 days in, compared to Donald Trump, term one and term two. Obama total had 430 kinetic strikes and 55,000 munitions used. Trump has totaled 908 strikes and 63,000 munitions used. Okay? And
Hmm.
Barack Obama's shit, it starts to go down as his second term progressed. Number two, civilian casualties. Barack Obama total had 500 for both terms. Trump thus far, 2,500. This includes the 157 deaths in the Caribbean, which, by the way, we don't know the identities of any of those people. So, for all we know, American citizens could have been killed in the Caribbean. Number three, theaters inherited. Barack Obama inherited 6 different theaters of war from Bush, and he started a new one in Syria. Trump inherited 4 theaters and has started 4 new theaters. Which, by the way, have you heard? We're now bombing Ecuador. We're now doing stuff down in Ecuador on top of Venezuela. So Colombia is probably next. And this fucking guy is saying Cuba is going to be next, which it probably will be. Any thoughts? Any thoughts on the coonery of it all? On just the complete moral and consistent and oh, there's my brother Box Scott. Yeah. Any thoughts on just the complete and utter like
We don't even,
principal
Marky Dan, we don't have to
bankruptedness?
do it. We don't have to do it. We don't have to do a comparison. And this is why I say I've given up on America. I feel like the idea of democracy has never been had this stretch that it's had. It's never flourished as long as it has. And you have a group of politicians, which what even the dumbest person would agree that they want to keep us distracted, right? And this is a byproduct of that. You have a illiterate population, can't comprehend anything, don't know anything about politics. They don't even care about politics. If you try to bring up politics, they're like, "Well, I'm not really political." What does that mean? Like, so you're not political, but you'll go consume some trash on the internet, but then complain about going to the gas pump and paying $100, $70 to fill up your gas tank, but you're not political. You don't care. That's retarded. Like you have generations that have died, black people, right? Fought and died and bled and all this other stuff, right? Hung, Jim Crow, literacy tests, all that stuff. And people won't even exercise their right to vote. Mark it down. Like you're gonna slowly start to come up to this realization that there is no fixing stupid. You can't fix stupid. Stupid. What for say stupid is stupid does. You can't fix it, bro. It just is what it is. Like you can, bro. They are here at debates. These uninformed, stupid people with reading comprehensions of a 5th grade level to teach. Marky Dan. They are there to teach, and their source of teaching Donald Trump's talking points. Donald Trump's propaganda is the bulletins that they use to debate you without even looking them up to see if they're
I'm
true.
gonna say this, bro. If Donald Trump was smarter, we would be in really big trouble. Like we might already be on the doorstep to a World War III. Because I think he would be like if he was actually as intelligent as an Adolf Hitler, American society will the American democratic process would probably be over with by
Oh
now.
yeah, he would be able to
But the
articulate anything.
fact,
Yeah.
yeah, right. The Hitler, it took him like 80 days to destroy Germany's democracy. I think if this guy had even an inch of intelligence, it would already be over with. Because, like you say, I agree. These people are stupid. The vast majority of Americans, or I'll say the voting population, is very stupid. I agree with you on that. So I just think the fact that he's so dumb, it's a good thing. I think the fact that he's so like just like the level of narcissist, like he really believes he can get away with anything. He really believes
Uh,
that. No,
I,
no,
I
no, 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 no,
no
no,
no
no,
no
no,
no
no.
no
He
no.
believe
Now
he
now
really believes it.
I'm not gonna let you do that. It's not so much that he believes; he's doing. There's no belief, bro. He gets away with anything. He gets
No,
away
but
with
what
bro.
I'm
Stop, bro. Stop.
no,
You
no,
and
no,
I
no, no.
both know, bro.
A good
Those
example.
those
A good example, Boxer Scholar. Just recently, Marjorie Taylor Greene's congressional seat. It just came up for special election. The
uh
Democrat is going to win in the runoff.
okay.
That is a district that swung 37 points for Donald Trump.
Uh-huh.
So no, like he
Okay,
believes
bro.
he can do it,
Okay. Now
and there'll
let's
be no
connect that.
consequences.
Now I want you to connect that with who is the sitting president right now.
Donnie boy, but if he
What?
loses the Congress, he's screwed.
Hold on. What? So he may lose congressional power, but he doesn't care about the political system. Like he doesn't care about checks and balances. So you're gaining power for nothing. You know what this reminds me of, Marky Dan? I don't know. Well, you kind of young. I don't know if you made it to the Pokemon generation, but there was like a Game Boy that was out, and you would like go into the woods and find a Pokemon and battle them. Well, anyway, there was like a meme, and it was like two Pokemon battling each other, and one of them just jumped on the other and started whooping his ass because he didn't want to take
Yeah,
turn. He was like, I'm not agreeing to these rules. That's Donald Trump. He does not believe in the political system, bro. You talk about he believes he can do whatever he wants to. No, he's acting it out. He's doing whatever he wants to with no consequences.
like bro,
Everybody's sitting around.
imagine. Like people like I remember you people like you like to criticize Bush and say he didn't get congressional approval for Iraq, which isn't true. He just didn't get a declaration of war. But Congress did vote on it. Could you imagine if Bush did this type of shit? Could you really imagine it? Like Bush
Bro, they
actually
threw a shoe.
sold the Iraq war to the American people for over a year. And then he
They threw
came
it.
to Congress. This fucking guy just shot first and said, "Hey Congress, suck my dick later."
Yep. And
So
that's and
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. But
he's gonna get away with it, Marky. The only way that Donald Trump is not gonna get away with this, and it's gonna force America's hand. And this is what I do have faith in. There's gonna be a revolution in this country, and the American people are gonna get to decide whose revolution wins. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be democracy or or dictator regime. Because if he gets impeached, which it looks like the voting is going to go that way, if he gets Democratic House and Senate, and he becomes the first president to get impeached, it's not going to leave.
oh
He's
yes,
not
the
going to
fuck he
leave.
will. Oh
Uh,
yes, he will.
he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave when he lost. He's not going to leave whenever he's impeached. He's talking about running in 2028. So I'm sitting back. I'm a spectator. I do my job. I vote. I don't just yap. I vote. I put my
I
vote.
mean, listen, I agree with you. There does need to be a revolution in this country,
No,
but
it
I'm
is going to be.
hoping
What
that
it's going to be a forced revolution. It's just going to be
I,
determined whose revolution is going to be based on the people's wants and desires, and that's why I kind of give up with America because they tell you out of their mouth, "I am not political." They sit around and wait for the hero to come in the movie and save them from the big bad Donald Trump. This is not Disney. You're the hero in this story. You're going to do it with your voting. You're going to do it with your voice. You know what I mean? And you're not gonna let people forget like they did with George Bush. They erased that. You know how women be having hot girl summers, but they be like, "Oh, I had a condom, so it didn't count." That's what they try to do with George Bush. Like, nah, that shit still counting. You still got them herpes. But nah, yeah, it's gonna be a revolution, Market. Then it's gonna be
I mean,
forced.
I agree with you, but I just hope that I don't want a revolution, as in a conflict out in the streets, like federal buildings getting burned down and
Well,
IRS agents getting lynched. I
well,
would
Market.
like
Then we
a
listen.
revolution. Well,
I
let
don't
me
want
just say
anybody to
this.
die. Go ahead.
I, I would like, yeah, yeah, but more than that, I don't want the system as it currently is to fracture apart. I want the system to get reformed. Like, for one, a lot of the executive powers have to be quashed, and it has to be done through a constitutional convention. And a lot of states, such as like Montana, which are reliably Republican, their legislatures are stepping forward with those types of new amendments. We need somebody who's going to come in and say, "I'm going to reform the executive." We need to take away the pardon power, because the Supreme Court's decision to say that the pardon power is absolute, essentially what that means, Boxer Scholar, is Donald Trump could go on TV and he could literally say, "Hey, send me $1 million and I'll give your granny a pardon." And there's nothing you could not, you can't charge him with bribery. You can't charge him with corruption or anything, because the pardon power is absolute. So it doesn't matter if there was a quid pro quo. We need the pardon powers to be quashed. We need the veto power to be quashed as well. All the veto power and the pardon power, those are things that originated from a king. Because that was the initial, like that was the only example of an effective executive at that time in 1790 when they came up with the Constitution. So the pardon power, the veto power has to go. We need to put term limits on the Supreme Court. Congress in general needs to have term limits. We need to pass a constitutional amendment that makes it illegal for public officials to take donations of over $100 from any one organization. Like I agree. It's a lot that needs to happen. Like we need single payer health insurance. Like, one of the fucking craziest things ever to me, Box Scott. My dad sent me a video of some trans women, that they transitioned into women, trying to get into a bathroom, and then some big white men, who I guess are fathers, saying, "No, my daughter's in there." And my father said, like, "This is the stuff you support, dude." And I said, "That," and you know what I decided to do, Box Scholar? I sat down and I really decided, you know what? I'm gonna do this right now. And I went to him and I said, "Dad, this is not a productive use of time or thought energy. Like, one in every 10 million grapes take place in a bathroom, and around 500,000 grapes take place every year in the U.S. So that means, like, once every 20 years, somebody gets graped in a bathroom. So do you think, like, this is an effective use of time to just be bullying trans people? Like, 190,000 people die every single year because they don't have insurance, or because insurance denies claims. You don't think that would be a better use of our time? But no. And I understand what you're saying, Master Scholar. The majority of people that vote in this country are fucking retarded. They're stupid. They're slow. Like, they'll have fucking diabetes. Like, there'll be a 25 or a 24-year old that has diabetes, Boxer Scholar, and they're rushing up to their 26th birthday when they get kicked off their parents' insurance. And this GOP, like this current environment, has like caused them to believe that trans rights is an actual issue. Meanwhile, you're gonna die if you don't have insurance to copay on your insulin. You are going to die. But you're focused on trans people and being bathroom warriors. Like, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get what you're
Mark,
saying, but I'm not
I
willing
have
to give up
debates.
yet.
I
I'm
have
not willing to
debates.
give up yet.
Mark, then I have debates with people and try to bring rationality to them, because I'm like, maybe they don't know, right? Even with like stuff trans is a prime example, right? Trans. And I say, bro,
But like the craziest thing to me about it, before you go, it's like they act like they're, and I call them bathroom warriors because they act like they're doing some type of crusade or like, yeah, get out of here. What's wrong with you? Yeah, we gotta protect our women and prevent these trannies from or excuse me, I apologize, and prevent these transmissions from getting into the bathroom. But it's like, why not just let them go? With the certainty that nobody is going to be raped, nobody's going to be murdered, nobody is going to get robbed. You have a higher chance of getting raped walking into a church than you would walking into a bathroom.
or just don't use public bathrooms. That's a simple solution.
Oh
But
yeah, or that. But this is what they do.
I'm a
Like
little
this is
disgusted
how
about public
they
bathrooms anyway. And let's be honest, Marky Dan. Like, bro, come on, bro. How many times have you seen like a spring break video where people are effing in the bathroom, bro?
exactly.
There's more videos of
Yeah, I
that
got
than
my own spring break videos from when I
and
was
that's
15.
you know, and that's the point I'm trying to make. It's just like they're so weird about this, and this is what I try to say, Marky. Dan, I try to bring rationality to their brain, right? And I try to get them to understand. But this goes back to literacy, right? And I tell them like, what percent of the population do you think is trans, right? And then I tell them it's less than 1%. And I said, less than 1% of the total population of America. You look at the total population of America, this is what it is. And I tell them, and I said, so that means there's this many trans people according to these numbers with the margin of error, right? But there are more people in our military, right? There are more people in our military than there are trans, right? And out of that 1%, how many of them do you think are going into the bathroom to commit crimes? That's an even smaller percentage, you know? So you're sitting up there worried about 1% of the population and less than a percent of the 1%. That makes no sense. Like if I wanted to pass the law for people who had what's a rare condition, like a rare eye disease or something, people would be mad at me and say, why are you wasting the taxpayers dollars on this rare condition that not a lot of people get? But they can't apply that same logic to this situation. And that's why I give up, Marky Dan. Their lack of comprehension, their lack of understanding, their lack of real math and you know, equate it, all that stuff, it plays a
And it's
part.
both sides, Box. It's not just the right. And it's like, listen, upcoming November election is going to be about getting the GOP out of power and checking Donald Trump. But the fight doesn't end there. We have to get Israel out of our government, and like that's where I think that
Bro,
like that's
hold
the
on, hold
part
on,
of it
Marky.
that
Let me
that
say
where
this. Let me
I
say this,
kind
Marky.
of
Let me
go
say this.
ahead.
I'm gonna be quick. I'm gonna be quick because I gotta get up out of here probably like 10 minutes anyway. But I'm gonna be quick, bro. That is the one thing they always be like, because people always use the argument they're trying to split us up. If we came together, if there was one issue where everybody could come together, it should be that one thing, bro. How is Israel telling us what to do, bro? How are they the little brother that's always picking fights, bro? And we always have to protect them? No,
And so the
bro.
president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act.
Yo, what was that? I couldn't even hear it.
Oh, you didn't hear it? That's Marco Rubio saying they had to strike Iran because Israel was going to strike Iran.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, oh, man, like the one thing that should bring everybody together is war is not profitable, bro. It's never been. The only time it was profitable is World War II. And I think people didn't factor in the reasons why. It was a bunch of factors going on to just pinpoint, oh, it's war. War is what made us rich. Because if you look at it ever since then, America hasn't, I'm gonna be honest with you, America hasn't won a war since then. America hasn't been lucrative off of war since then.
We drove Saddam out of Kuwait.
The region is unstable as fuck. The moment that we drew down
We
there,
drove communists out
the
of Grenada.
the
My mother's
government
homeland as well.
the government took over immediately after. What was it, like a month after we left, a week after we left, something like that. I can't remember. I don't have the facts on hand, but they took over immediately after we left. So that's what I mean by it wasn't a success. We lost. We spent a lot of money on that war and a lot of American lives, a lot of people with missing limbs, and cancers from burn pits and all kind of crazy stuff. So that we lost that war. Just to be honest, Um, uh, the communist stuff, even the communist stuff, bro. It used to be a strategy, like it was with um Stalin, and like what did they used to call it, Marky Dan? Where they used to accuse people of McCarthyism, but they had an actual strategy, bro, where they would go in and try to battle communists, but they would do it. They would do it with like giving resources to the people, helping the freedom fighters, like trying to spark the idea of democracy. It wasn't always just physical, just bomb, bomb, bomb away. A lot of times they would try to spark the refugees.
That's
It's kind of
called it's called soft power.
it's kind of like they did with fucking what's my man's name, Gaddafi. Gaddafi, like they helped support the rebels, you know what I mean? That ended up taking over Libya. It's kind of like that. Like they their strategy for communists is an effective strategy because they sell the idea of freedom and that America is great. So they're walking it like they talk it, and then places don't want a dictator. You know what I mean? So that's easier strategy. But as far as wars, bro, you can go back to the North Korea, South Korea war. You can go to Vietnam. You can go to Iraq, Afghanistan. You can go to all these places, bro. America is Bro, them dubs is far and in between. They kind of like water at this point, bro. They wash, but not really. They still got the
Well,
bomb.
Vietnam wasn't a real war. It was kind of just like a prolonged 20-year siege defense. But like the U.S. military never had the authorization to leave South Vietnam and destroy the North Vietnamese the North Vietnamese. So like it wasn't a real war. Like it was just I think it was who was it? It was Eisenhower. He made the decision that we need to maintain a capitalist friendly neighbor in South Vietnam. Also, you know about the
But
poppies and all
Mark it
that
in.
good shit.
Technically,
It's
Venezuela
about
and
no,
Iran is not
but
a
what I
real
was about
war.
to what
But
I was about to say, it's about resources. They had
yeah, but
poppies which we needed for medicine. It's the same
Mark
shit with
it.
Cuba.
Do you realize?
We
Do you hear what you're saying though? What you're
what?
saying right now is the same justification that they use for Venezuela and Iraq. I mean, excuse me, Iran.
I mean, I'm not justifying. I'm just saying why the
It,
U.S.
but no, no,
military
no. Hold on,
didn't
hold on.
destroy
Listen,
the
what I'm saying.
Vietnamese, the North
You're not following me,
Vietnamese.
Marky Dan. With Iran, they said that the Trump people were saying it's not a real war and it's not war, but they were dropping bombs on them. You get what I'm trying to say?
No, no,
They're
no, no,
saying,
no. You're right, right, right. I understand what you're saying, but what all I'm saying is the United States of America did not. It wasn't. It was firstly, it was illegal. It was illegal, point blank and period. We shouldn't have had troops on the ground over there. South Vietnam was not a treaty ally. It was some UN charter that Eisenhower used as an excuse to place troops over there to support the South Vietnamese government. And then through years and years of the Cold War tuning up, it got upwards of like I think 500,000 troops were sent to South Vietnam. But I'm just saying it wasn't a real war because we essentially had one arm tied behind our back. Like that's all I'm saying. But let me also just say this. Um, what was I about to say? What was I about to say? What was I about to say? Oh, right.
they'll come back to
The
talking about
Strait.
war.
No, but what I was about to say, the Strait of the reason why we have these wars, back to Scholar, is for resources. Is to make sure the steady supply of resources continues to chug along nice, steadily, stably, and and the whole world economy that's grown through hundreds of years, through the transatlantic slave trade and all that great stuff, it continues to flow along. Now that the entire world is dependent on crude oil, it's very important that the Strait of Hormuz stays open, or else you see what happens. Oil spikes up and down to $100, then $90 the next day. You got diesel prices shooting up. It's going to continue to shoot up, which is going to affect the price of food, the price of construction materials that got to get transported across the Canadian border, which is already gone up because of the tariffs on lumber. So that's going to affect the housing market. It's going to affect the farming market because you got to get fertilizer on freight liners. just all overall, or keeping the nice steady supply of oil pumping through that strait, it keeps everything nice and stable, Boxer Scholar. Now, I thought, and me personally, I don't have a problem with us having bases over there in the Gulf for that reason. Like, we should have already foresaw that they were going to try to close the strait, and that we should have had assets in place to keep it open or to escort these ships across. We haven't done that. And what that does, Boxer Scholar, China is looking at this shit. There, between China and Taiwan is called the Strait of Taiwan, where 60% of the world's semiconductors and microchips come through. What happens if they decide to disrupt that shit, Boxer Scholar? And looking at it, I can't really say that we are going to defend Taiwan. We don't have any bases over there. We don't even have a bases in the Philippines. The closest bases we have is in South Korea and Japan. So what I'm really just saying is, Boxing Scholar, I think we're screwed. I think World War III is on the horizon. But outside the war itself, we need, after this 2026 year coming up, where the GOP is going to die, it's going to die a violent death. The next battle is to get Israel out of our politics. Let me put up the picture right quick. My bad. Where is that? Here it is. Where the hell is it? Where the hell is it? This it? No, that's not it. Yeah, here it
Hey,
is.
Marky, I'm about to go in to work, bro. I get off at 6. At 6, I'm gonna call you if you're free. I don't know what you got planned tomorrow, and we can just spark up another live. We can break down the depositions if you want.
We can do that later tonight or tomorrow. But after I get off of this, I'm finna go eat. I haven't eaten all day yet. I just tried to spark up this live to make sure
Man,
that
Marky Dan, when I was your age, bro, I would go years without eating.
I mean, my bad. I'm a privileged guy. I don't deal with suffering and ghetto. I mean, I know that you're a lunch program
You know
kid.
you
You're an
white
EBT
privilege,
boy. Well, you know what, Boxer Scholar? I actually found this out the other day. My great grandfather was a German, an Aryan.
bro. So
His
see,
name is
and this is
Wolf.
why I can't trust you. This is why I can't
His
trust you.
name was Wolf Molinar.
So first, your grandfather was a sugar cane picker, or a farmer or whatever you called him. Now all of a sudden he German, and this is exactly why I
No,
don't
no,
even
no,
have
no, 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 no,
conversation
no,
with
no, no, no,
Negroes.
no,
Right here.
no, 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 no. My grandfather, Halva Molinar, or excuse me, my great grandfather, Halva Molinar, was
Uh,
um he worked for the
Cotton,
sugar
sugar
union. He was
cane.
a sugar boiler. You
See
hear
what
me,
I mean?
boy?
See, and then he go to the boy insult. That's why I say. This is why I don't have conversation with Negroes right here. The confusion. Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And he was he came from a long line of plantation owners. So hey,
Bro,
Boxer
what the
Scholar.
fuck? Who came from that? Your grandfather?
Great grandfather.
Bro, you a coon, bro. I said it. I said it, bro. You know, I see why Coonan make
Yeah,
you
go
so
look up
mad now.
my
Then the
people
man gonna give us his grandpa government for us to go confirm that he a coon. But I just want y'all to pay attention out there. This is why I join white people. I
no
don't want to be on. I
go
don't
look
want to
up
be on the losing
Raja
team no more.
go look up Raja Molinar. That's my ancestor that came to St. Thomas in 1850, and he opened a sugar plantation.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna just say,
Married a big tall black lady named Brunhilde.
bro, you got that from Django, bro. Brian for to play with you,
No,
bro.
I swear to God.
Bro, you got that from Django.
Look up Brunhilde
Bro, you
Molinar.
got that from Django, bro. Marky dead crazy, bro. That dude out there stealing character from
How much you
Django.
want to bet? How much you want to bet?
Hey, you gonna let that nigga stay in the big house? Bro, that nigga Marky dead a cool, man. I've been trying to tell y'all for
I ain't
years.
no goddamn corn. I'm just trying to tell you the reality of it.
Yo,
You know
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
be honest.
saying?
I'm gonna be honest with y'all.
Roger Molinar.
Marky Dan, and listen, YouTube is the new space, bro. I hate when people. One of my pet peeves now is when people say they ain't got time for YouTube. It's a new TV, bro. Like everybody's on it, bro. You go to YouTube, people are gonna be on YouTube or TikTok. It just is what it is, bro. Everybody's connected, and that's our form of connection, bro. But like I said, another reason why I lose hope, bro, is like I said, I look emotional intelligence. Like, not only do people not have EQ, IQ, they don't have EQ, bro. They don't have EQ, And I mean, I be in the bitches a lot. I troll and then I leave, bro. I troll to have fun, but just looking at all this mess, bro, and all these people, and emotional intelligence, it's makes you give up hope. It's hopeless. I mean, call it what it is. It's hopeless, Marky Dan. These people are confused. They're like the people
Quiet,
who.
Piggy.
Huh?
I said, quiet, Piggy. That's what Donald Trump said when somebody made him
Oh,
mad.
oh yeah. You talk about that lady. Oh, you're so nasty. You're so fucking nasty. Yeah, yeah.
That was a very nasty
That
question.
was a
You're a
nasty
nasty
comment.
reporter.
You're very nasty. Every time I ever see you smile is when I grab you by the
No,
pussy.
I like how you drag that shit. I like how you just, you're a very nasty reporter. That was a very
Hey,
nasty question.
very nasty.
Nasty.
That deflection tactic works, and that's what I mean by EQ. Like, you know what I mean? To the people listening out there, Google EQ, Google emotional intelligence.
I
Look up.
mean, but Donald Trump, like, and I respect about this guy. He comes in with as little information as possible, 100% confidence, and he can just wing it in any situation. Like, you
That's
remember
not a
the
good
the
thing.
Tylenol? You remember the Tylenol press
Yeah,
conference?
that's not a good thing, bro.
Acetaminophen.
That's not a
Oh
good thing.
yeah, acetaminophen. Oh, that's a
That's not
tough
a
word.
that's not a good thing, Marky. If somebody could come out there, that like, bro, there used to be preparation. Like I remember the debate with that Nixon wouldn't have been a president ever if they would have had TV back, like when in the first time he ran, because of his appearance and his voice. And they said that also about RFK too. They said if history would be a lot different if it was televised like it is,
bro,
like national
bro.
debates.
Imagine Byron Donald. They said Byron Donalds didn't get nominated for Department of Homeland Security, or no, it might have been some other position in the cabinet. He didn't get nominated because he got charged with possession of marijuana with the intent to sell when he was
Good,
like 14 years old.
good.
But RFK Jr., yeah, good, good, good. I don't like coons either. But RFK Jr. can go on a
Big
podcast
cocaine.
and
Yeah.
say, I snorted coke. I snorted coke
The
off
guy
of a
responsible for
toilet
our health.
seat. And and that's how I know so much about germs.
I
He
know so
actually
much
said
about
that.
guns because I you can do 8 ball on them. Yeah, yeah.
I did an 8 ball off of a cooker's ass, so I know a lot about germs. And she had just used the bathroom before I did it. Like, that's the level of people. Like, we got adult swim characters running
hey,
the government.
hey, this is who you voted for. I don't want to hear
I
no
didn't
complaint.
vote for that shit,
No,
nigga.
this is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. You called me the day before the election and we talked. But now I'm gonna get up out of here, Marky. I gotta go in. Like I said in closing, get you some emotional intelligence. You know, um, not you specifically. We're talking to the women in the chat that are childish. Um, yeah, get you some emotional
Stop
intelligence.
that.
But anyway, man, I'm gonna get up out of here.
All right, the scholarly one. Salute to my brother B3 Picks in the chat. Shout out to B3 Picks. And shout out to Vacay Bay. The lovely Vacay Bay in the chat. I ain't studying this nigga boxer scholar. The fuck he got to say. But back to what I was saying before I get out of here. The next fight after the 2026 midterms is going to be 2028. And who is going to be the new president? Who's going to be the new administration? Who is going to be heading up Congress and what the agenda is going to be. The number one agenda for the American people is going to be decoupling themselves from Israel. Right here, I have on the screen. This is literally the first picture you see on the APAC lobby's website, and there you see it says APAC, and they're upfront about this stuff. We supported 361 pro-Israeli Democratic and Republican candidates in 2024 with $53 million in direct support through APAC. It then further goes on. So this right here, you see, the big blue one is APAC. That's $53 million worth of spending it did by itself. Next to it, you see J Street, American Bankers Association, House Freedom Fund, Emily's List, New Democratic Coalition, Association of Justice. These are essentially smaller, much smaller Israeli lobbies. And the point APAC is making here is all of them combined, APAC still dwarfs them. Like all of these combined is like, let me see. That's 10 million, 13 million, 14 million, 15 million, less than $20 million. APAC by themselves spent 20 million, or excuse me, $53 million. So that's about what, $69 million that the Israeli lobby pumped into our politics to elect this current Congress, which is allowing them to bomb whoever they want, go to war with whoever they want, whenever they want, and we just come along like the good boys that we are. So the next big fight is going to be getting the Democrats, or not even just the Democrat, but APAC in general, Democrats, Republicans, anybody who's taking a cent from APAC has got to go in 2028. Furthermore, this is a problem that needs to not only be on the federal level, it needs to be focused on the state level as well. So what I have in front of you right here is a map of the United States of America. All of the purple, all of the states that are covered in purple, about 37 of them, as of this moment, it's 38. They have laws which essentially make it illegal to boycott Israeli companies. I am not kidding. There are 37 different states in the United States of America who have made it illegal to boycott Israel. And let me just put up this. This is a Florida state policy, right? Or rather, a Florida state law that got approved recently. And it says right here, entities that boycott Israel, requiring the public. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but essentially what it says is, if you have been found to be withdrawing funds from Israeli companies or withdrawing business from doing business with Israeli companies, or if you've put out a statement supporting a boycott against Israeli companies and business, the state of Florida, and this is a similar state law that was passed in the other 37 states, the state has the right to withdraw all public and government funding from your business that they might be doing with you. So I just want to make that clear one more time. American tax-paying businesses are being put under the gun if they don't back and support Israel and what they're doing over there in the Middle East. Now, why are we boycotting Israel? What you see up here on this map is Palestine, or excuse me, if you go from left to right, the green on this map gets less and less. So the green on the map in 1946 is Palestine. Okay? It's the big country of Palestine, and the white spots on it are the Israeli refugee, or excuse me, the Jewish refugees that came from Europe after World War II. The Palestinians opened up their doors, welcomed them in with open arms. Then in 1947, the first fatwa happened, where Israel came with guns and forced the Palestinians out of their homes and forced them to spots in the Gaza Strip, and they forced them to spots in the West Bank and in the North. Then again in 1967, after the 7-Day War, more land was taken. Then in 2012, you see that the West Bank is essentially all but occupied and colonized by Israel. And then you just have a tiny little piece of the Gaza Strip that still represents Palestine. So Israel has been doing this to the Palestinian people for almost 100 years. They've slowly, though surely, been been whittling away at the amount of land they take away from them. And now you have Israeli, or excuse me, not now, but you've always had Israeli settler terrorists. Okay? Israeli settler terrorists who are backed by the Israeli government, and they go into the Palestinian communities in the West Bank, and they go to these people's homes, and they say, "Listen, if you don't get out of this home in the next 2 hours, I'm coming back with 20 people, and we're gonna unalive you, and we're gonna burn down your house." And if they do that to those Arab or Palestinian people, there is no recourse of law. The police are not going to do anything. The Israeli military are not going to protect the Palestinians. And if the Palestinian and Arab people fight back from having their land stolen, they're going to be labeled terrorists and murdered. Point blank. So if an American company decides to take a moral stance that my money will not be going towards terrorism, the United States has decided we are not supporting you at all. We're withdrawing funds from you, funds from you that you paid in taxes anyway, because we got to stand with Israel. Israel is our guys. Those are our masters. And then the craziest thing is, 11 days after they passed this law in Florida, this young man, I believe his name is Sumral Musalat, born and raised in Tampa, Florida, was lynched in Palestine, in the West Bank. He was lynched by 20 Israeli settler terrorists. And the military and the police surrounded his body and prevented ambulances and emergency personnel from reaching him. So 7 days after Florida passes this law to back Israel 1,000%, a Floridian gets murdered over there in Israel. And has anything been done about the people that murdered him? No. Nobody has been arrested. Nobody has been charged with a crime. Nothing. And now we have 7 more U.S. service members, 140 wounded. But we have 7 U.S. service members that have been killed. And I want to be very, very clear. It is on Israel. It's on Donald Trump. It's on Donald Trump. He decided to be stupid and weak and decided to be goaded into war. But Israel, they are the ones who are so aggressive. They are the ones who support terrorists. They are the ones who support attacking their neighbors. Hezbollah has been destroyed for almost 2 years. Israel has bombed them into submission. They get a ceasefire with Lebanon. Israel has been violating the ceasefire for years and bombing southern Lebanon and occupying parts of southern Lebanon they were supposed to have pulled out from and burning down people's houses in Gaza. And I just want to preface all this by saying Israel uses those attacks by Hezbollah and by Hamas as part of their pretext for going to war with Iran. Israel had every right to defend itself from what Hamas did. It had every right to self-defense. It had every right to defend itself from Hezbollah operatives attacking and killing Israeli citizens and Israeli soldiers. But the UN and the international criminal courts have now ruled that what they've done in Gaza and what they've done in Lebanon has gone far beyond self-defense. So what pretext is there to go after Iran for those purposes that they've now dragged us into this war? It's like they couldn't get enough of killing Palestinians. They couldn't get enough of killing Lebanese people. So now they said, no, let's go after the Persians. Let's kill some Iranian people too. We have to get these people out of our government. It has to be the number one priority going forth in 2028 after we get the Republicans out of power in 2026. This has to be the number one priority. And lastly, just before I go, we are very close to a financial crash. And that's what I wanted to talk to Boxer Scholar about before Boxer Scholar left. But we just went all over the place with our conversation. Right now, our economy is being held, or rather, I should say, the growth in our economy from 2025 was almost entirely held up by AI, by investment in AI and AI stocks. Okay, almost 40% of our economy, almost 40% of the 2.2% GDP growth we had in 2025 was fueled by AI investments. Now, the problem with that is the AI investments are not actually producing any profits. Right now, it's still in the developmental phase, it's still in the wait and see phase. But given some of the capabilities of AI, it is, and it's rightly viewed as a revolutionary piece of technology. So the big companies and the big oil dollars and from the Gulf states, they want to invest in it now because they realize oil isn't going to last forever. So now, the AI investments and markets are being fueled by Asian investments from Japan, from South Korea, and it's being fueled by Gulf state investments such as the UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia. Now, those countries are going to get pinched because of the war in Iraq, or excuse me, because of the war in Iran, and because the Strait of Hormuz is going to be closed. So now a lot of those petroleum dollars that they take in, and they use those same dollars to invest in the US's AI market. Those dollars are going to get pulled, or rather, what they like to say in these types of situations, those stocks are going to get cannibalized so that those people could have short-term capital and cash. Now, once those funds get pulled, there's going to be something called a correction, or essentially, AI stocks are very high right now. And if that money was to be pulled by the Asians or by the Gulf states because of the current state of the oil market and the gas prices going up, as well as just the instability of war in general. I mean, those they also have a great tourism economy over there in the Gulf states. If that money gets pulled, the value of those AI companies is going to drop like a rock. And then what else? And then what happens that's gonna follow that is that other people are gonna start to pull their money because they're gonna say, "Oh my God, it's Armageddon. The AI bubble crash is happening. Everybody's pulling their money. I don't want to be the last guy. Let me try to get what I can, even though I've already lost so much money." And everybody's going to pull. And that's going to be a huge financial crash. You're going to have those companies like Meta, Google, OpenAI, Verizon, T-Mobile, all the big tech companies are going to have to start laying off people so that they can find short-term cash, so that they can free up short-term cash flow that was killed by the AI bubble crash. So you're going to have an even worse job market. You're going to have higher prices. And just in general, you're not going to have a stable stock market. So again, we're going to have higher diesel prices, higher gas prices. The diesel prices are going to force grocery prices to go up. It's going to force the cost to construct houses to go up. You got the gas prices, which in general is going to hurt people because everybody has to put fuel in their car. You are looking at a recession, at Armageddon. And those numbers and it's going to be bared out not only in the current numbers, what we're seeing with the fuel and the oil, as well as the stock market. Those numbers are going to be bared out in the upcoming first quarter GDP report on April 30th, at least the first estimate. I predict we're going to see a reduction in growth. And if we have two back-to-back reduction in growth quarters in our GDP, that is the ultimate signal that we are in a recession. And I want to be very clear. We will only be in this situation because of Israel, because of them. So listen, I want everybody to remain healthy. I want everybody to remain happy. At this point in time, I would recommend to everybody to save money to build up their rainy day funds in case of whatever happens in this unstable economy that we're going into, and just keep your head up because I think we're really headed for some hard times if this war continues on past a month. which I predict it will. But anyways, let me know what y'all think in the comments. This was a good live. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking to. I mean, I feel like about 60% of it was just me talking to myself, but still, I enjoyed it. I loved every second of it. Love talking to the people. Love giving my thoughts on these subjects. I think they're so important. I love this country. I'm not gonna let it die to Zionists. I'm not gonna let it die to fascists. And any chance I have to use my voice to call out these people, I'm going to. I'm going to. Because they can't take this country from me. I love this country to death. I know people, they have jokes about, I'm from the Virgin Islands and man, Marky, are you even a citizen, man? Marky, do you even have a passport? Da 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 da. Or Marky, man, ICE is gonna come. Listen, I love this motherfucking country. This is the greatest country in the entire world. Okay? There was a point in time when we were living through satanic autocracies, dictatorships, kings, queens, emperors, where the people, their voices didn't matter. America gave birth to the idea of democracy, real democracy, not that shit they had in Britain. Real democracy, where everybody's voice matters and where the people had rights that had to be respected. Not that, not they could be respected. They must be respected. One of the great lines that I read in a legal document, I can't remember where it was from. It said, in our society, liberty is the standard. Before you remove somebody from their liberty, the government has a high threshold to pass. You can't just snatch somebody up and throw them in a van and think that, oh, that's the end of the story. We're the big bag, big brother government. We can do whatever the hell we want to you. Da 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 da. No. That is the very antithesis of America. And every chance I get, I'm going to speak out against this bull crap that they're trying to put on a plate for us and tell us that this is the true America. Absolutely not. So I'm going to speak out any chance I get. But once again, great live stream. I appreciate everybody that comes through. Please smash the like button. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Go back, APAC, go back. That's the APAC building right there.
I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is a calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fold. No one is gonna lose their soul. Now all my days I've been searching, find out what this life is worth. And through the books I've looked, oh yeah, through time I've searched, yes. It's love, love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. All we need is love. Say it again. All we need is love. Well, I don't want to fight you. Hey, let's go fly a kite now. There's nothing we can't cure, and I keep you in my arms for sure. So don't let nobody stop us. Free spirits to soar. You know, with you I share this gift. And this gift that we now know. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. All we need is love. All we need is love. Yeah. Well, I'm done searching now. Found out what this life is worth. Not in a book is it found. Oh my friends, it's all around. Yeah. I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is a calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fore. No one is gonna lose their souls when it's love. Love is my religion. Mama said, love is my religion. Children said, love is my religion. And every people say, love is my religion. Well, I said it again. Love is my religion. All we need is love. 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 I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is a calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fold. No one is gonna lose their soul. Now all my days I've been searching to find out what this life is worth. And through the books I've looked, oh yeah, through time I've searched, yes. It's love, love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. All we need is love. Say it again. All we need is love. Well, I don't want to fight you. Hey, let's go fly a kite now. There's nothing we can't cure, and I keep you in my arms for sure. So don't let nobody stop us. Free spirits have to soar. You know, with you I share this gift. And this gift that we now know. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. All we need is love. All we need is love. Yeah. Well, I'm done searching now. Found out what this life is worth. Not in a book is it found. Oh my friends, it's all around. Yeah. I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is a calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fold. No one is gonna lose their souls when it's love. Love is my religion. Mama said, love is my religion. Children said, love is my religion. And every people say, love is my religion. I said it again. Love is my religion. All we need is love. All we need is love. All we need is